Have you ever really thought about what happens to your company's old computers and phones? Yeah, most of them just end up as waste. But today we're going to look at a much smarter way of thinking about the entire life of our devices. It's a pretty cool concept called circular procurement.
Okay, so let's get right into it. When your company is getting ready to buy new tech, what's the first thing you look at? It's the price tag, right? Of course. But what if I told you that's just the tip of the iceberg? See, the real cost? Well, that's hidden way at the end of a device's life. It's a cost most businesses just ignore, but they really shouldn't.
For way too long, we've all been stuck in this old, linear model. You buy something, you use it, and then you just toss it. It's a one-way street, a straight line right to the landfill. But what if we could bend that line into a circle, a loop where we buy, use, and then, this is the key, recover all the valuable stuff locked inside? That's the circular model. It's all about turning today's trash into tomorrow's treasure.
Now, to really get why this matters so much, we have to talk about e-waste. And look, this is way more than just an environmental headache. For a business, it's a huge hidden risk just lurking in your storage closets and dumpsters.
I mean, this chart really tells the whole story, doesn't it? We are practically drowning in e-waste. Just look at the Americas. For every 14 kilograms of e-waste we create per person, only about 4 of those kilograms are actually recycled properly. So where's the rest going? Piling up in landfills or, honestly, even worse places.
And we're not just talking about garbage here. We're talking about serious risk. I mean, think about it for a second. You've got sensitive company data sitting on old hard drives, just waiting for someone to find it. You've got toxic stuff like lead and mercury seeping into the ground. And with new rules popping up all the time, you could be facing big fines and a really damaged brand reputation.
Okay, but what if we could just flip this whole problem on its head? What if that giant mountain of old electronics wasn't a liability at all, but a huge asset? This brings us to a really powerful idea. What if we started treating our cities as the new mines of the future?
So this is what's called urban mining. Instead of digging massive holes in the earth for new materials, we harvest them from the products we've already made. It means every office building, every data center, they all become these rich secondary sources of metals and minerals just waiting to be recovered. It's kind of amazing.
And just look at the difference here. The contrast is, well, it's striking. On one side, you've got traditional mining. It's destructive, it uses a ton of energy, and it's completely unsustainable. But on the other side, you have urban mining. It's clean, it's efficient, and it's happening right here in our cities. It's about saving the planet's resources and using way less energy to do it.
Just let that sink in for a second. A single ton of old cell phones has more gold in it than a ton of actual gold ore from a mine. We are literally, and I mean literally, throwing away a gold mine every single day.
So, you're probably thinking, okay, if there's so much valuable stuff in our old tech, why aren't we all getting rich from it? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it all has to do with how these things are made in the first place. It really all comes down to their design. You ever wonder what actually goes on inside a recycling plant? It's not all just giant shredders and huge conveyor belts. One of the most important steps is manual dismantling, where actual people take our old gadgets apart by hand. And that, right there, is where things can get really tricky.
And the difference is just night and day. A product that's designed with modular parts and simple screws, that means it's easy to separate the materials, and you get a high recovery value. But a device that's all glued shut with everything integrated, well, that's a costly, super messy process that leaves you with very little to show for it in the end.
So, how do we fix this whole mess? The answer might actually surprise you. The most important recycling decision you will ever make doesn't happen when a device is old and broken. Nope, it happens right at the beginning, on the day you decide to buy it.
And this is what circular procurement is all about. It's a strategy where businesses make a conscious choice to buy technology that's been designed to be taken apart easily and cheaply later on. So you're not just buying a product, you're actually pre-planning its recovery. You're investing in a future resource.
So what does this actually look like for your business? Well, it means you start asking the right questions before you buy. Are the components modular? Can someone take this apart with a simple screwdriver? Is it built to last? And maybe more importantly, is it built to be recycled?
And the payoff for making this simple shift in how you think? It's huge. You are actively turning what would have been a future liability, a cost and a risk, into a valuable future asset. The benefits go way beyond just the bottom line.
Of course, you're going to reduce your long-term costs because recycling will be cheaper. But you'll also build a stronger, greener brand, you'll stay ahead of new regulations, and you'll even improve your data security. It is a win-win-win-win.
And listen, this isn't some small, feel-good idea. We're talking about a $91 billion opportunity locked away in our e-waste. With circular procurement, your company can actually get a piece of that pie instead of just adding to the scrap heap.
So the takeaway here is really simple. A smarter, greener future for our technology doesn't start at the recycling plant. It starts with you. It starts in the procurement office with the choices that you make today. And that really leads to one last question I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at how your company buys its tech. Is that strategy creating a future problem, or is it creating a future resource? Is your company part of the problem or part of the solution? The choice really is yours.